Senator Sessions, before you're seated, I'd like to administer the oath. Would you raise your hand, please, and answer this question? Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, and please be seated.
During dinners with other members of our Senate class, where we discussed everything from our politics to...
You know that I'm a man of my word and can be trusted to do what I say I will do. You know that I revere the Constitution, that I'm committed to the rule of law, and you know that I believe in fairness, in impartiality, and equal justice under law. Over the years, you've heard me say many times that I love the Department of Justice. The office of Attorney General of the United States is not a normal political office, and anyone who holds it must have total fidelity to the laws and the Constitution of the United States.
You're free to do that and then go immediately to your opening statement.
The country is also in the throes of a heroin epidemic, with overdose deaths more than tripling between 2010 and 2014. Tripling. Nearly 50,000 people a year die from drug overdose. Meanwhile, illegal drugs flood across our southern border and into every city and town in the country, bringing violence, addiction, and misery. We must not lose perspective when discussing these statistics. We must always remember that these crimes are being committed against real people, real victims.
And with Senator Chris Coons on the reauthorization of the victims of...
In recent years, our law enforcement officers have been called upon to protect our country from the rising threat of terrorism that has reached our shores. If I'm confirmed, protecting the American people from the scourge of radical Islamic terrorism will continue to be a top priority. We will work diligently to respond to threats using all lawful means to keep our country safe. That I have had to go from the legislative branch to the executive branch is a transfer. I am not naive. I know the threat that our rising crime and addiction rates pose to the health and safety of our country. I know the threat of terrorism. I deeply understand the history of civil rights in our country and the horrendous impact that relentless and systemic discrimination and the denial of voting rights has had on our African-American brothers and sisters. I have witnessed it. We must continue to move forward and never back. The Department will respect your constitutional duties, your oversight role, and the particularly critically important separation of powers between the executive and legislative branch.